no, this is the way. Some people, it works for them. So you got to say, okay, cool, I'm on this journey. I'm going to try this, what I'm telling you to do, 3 meals a day, no grazing in between. I'm going to do that for 6 weeks and see any results.
And is this also calorie now counting? Without calorie counting?
Okay, so for yourself, okay,
you just said in and out, right?
You've had junk meal before, right?
Challenging you here.
I personally, you cannot overeat healthy food in what you're burning off. Okay,
But for weight
it
loss.
depends on your lifestyle. Okay, so
sedentary lifestyle.
So if you
not a
tell me,
gym,
listen, you're fine, I can't eat 2 cups of rice per meal.
Yeah.
Then I'll say, okay, cool, then we need to monitor that. Now, the average guy may not, most probably not eat 2 cups per meal. Because now, okay, you got a bit of weight to lose, your appetite's a bit bigger, so maybe you can eat 2 cups of rice. Okay, then I'll tell you, okay, look, you'll have half a cup for lunch and then 1 cup for supper. So if you look at what I explained now, the eggs, a little bit of meat, the avo as for the essential fat, and then you got your lunch, which is half a cup and some protein, and your supper. That's like under 2,000 calories. That's like maybe like 1.8, 1.5. It's not a lot of food. Anything that's clean and natural and healthy is less calories than anything that's small and junk will have more calories.
Right.
So to kind of overeat, no. Then if you say, listen, yeah, I'm at the desk the whole day, I'll say, well, you need to try and do 3 10-minute walks a day, especially after your food, because it'll help with DOMS if you are training. It'll help with regulating insulin sensitivity, and it does burn off a little bit of calories, but it's more for the digestion process. Now, what's the amazing thing is that we were told about this, the sunnat way, walk after you eat.
Yeah.
And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam ate to kill the hunger. To kill the hunger. You eat a whole plate of food.
One third.
To kill the hunger. How many times do we actually eat to kill the hunger?
Yeah.
We eat what we put on our plate. So if we got a average size plate, and if we pile it up, in our head, no, I'm going to finish my food.
Yeah.
So also we recommend is maybe a smaller plate. Now for someone like you who's not focused on aesthetically, like, no, I need to get just body fat down, increase muscle, I want to get leaner, I want some definition, then you can have just 3 meals a day, let's say the eggs. But if you tell me, you know what, I don't like eggs, I want the oats, I'll say, okay, have some oats, maybe 2 boiled eggs with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Just to start off, we're feeling what we're doing. It's more of a taste of, okay, let's see how this works.
Right.
It's not something that we'll be rigid on. And then after like 6 weeks, you say, listen, yeah, okay, I've lost some weight. And then let's carry on. Then you may come after that 4 weeks and say, I'm feeling weak. I'll say, cool. Why are you feeling weak now? I'm doing a bit of walking, but I'm feeling a bit weak in the day. Okay, let's up your carb a bit more in your lunch and maybe a little more in your supper, maybe add in a fruit or something like that. But stages.
I mean, to be honest, this is a breath of fresh air, because we're going to dietitians all the time. They were like, strict diets, carbs are down, and you just mentioned the thing about feeling weak, because I'm eating this new diet and I'm like hungry in the day, I'm crabby, it's just not working for me. But you showing me that you can enjoy life, you can enjoy the food that you're eating with that balance that you speak about, yet at the same time losing that weight. I mean, that's a breath of fresh air for me, man.
If someone tells me, listen, I eat a slab of chocolate a day, let's say hypothetically, I'll say, okay, cool. You cut down on 1 block every day for the month. And then so you got 1 month to slowly knock off things. But mentally, you're like driven. Yeah, tomorrow we start this diet.
Yeah, Monday is the diet day.
Bolts to the wall. But then physically, your body's like, hey, where's the chocolate?
Yeah.
And then you end up breaking down.
Crabby and stuff.
And then it's a crash.
Yeah.
Then you're like, it's hard work. So you slowly eliminate, slowly. So if you're eating 1 junk meal a day, then you take, okay, I'll buy the junk meal, but I'm going to have half of it. I'm going to give the other half away. I want to share that junk meal. For 1 month, you clean up. And then eventually, after a year of trial and error, you'll know, okay, this is what works for me. Because we can give you the basics, okay, this is what you're doing. Everyone's different. Okay, this is my background, this is my eating. Okay, like take out, add in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Fine, carry on. Okay, let's add in this, add in that. And just monitor yourself. I think there's nothing fixed. I always say compliance is king.
I was going to mention, I watched a video where they spoke about a study. They took plus minus, I think 10 or 12,000 females, right? And wood males, and they tested their grip strength. Handshake.
They got that little machine, they do that.
No, the handshake.
Okay.
And they tested it. 95% of the women had a stronger grip than the men.
Wow.
And the men were all under the age of 30.
That's
And
incredible.
how?
What do you mean how?
Like, how did they do that? I mean,
I don't know how they did
is
the
it just the natural way, or
So no. The topic was based on men's masculinity and the decline. Are they becoming more feminine?
Okay.
So they're not gripping your hand.
Okay.
They're like, hey.
That
But,
actually,
but the females
Yeah.
had more grip.
So
than the
obviously
men.
they have taken that alpha
Yes.
Position.
position. Wow.
But then what they were relating it back to low testosterone.
But you know what? When we're younger too, you go to the mosque, the guy will come like this, yeah.
That's a humble way of greeting.
Who said so?
According to them.
According to what?
That's what I was taught.
No. Sheikh Yaqubi actually showed us how to
It's
greet.
humility.
Not humility.
Yeah, you bring your shoulders down and you come towards the person
I can bring my shoulders down. still
out of
put your hand.
respect.
You know. Okay, let's finish this. I went to see a guy in Woodford.
I'm
right?
putting all this in.
Wait, I went to see a guy in Woodford, and I shook his hand. Elderly guy, shook his hand. Kurta wala, beard, mashallah. Came back. We had a meeting, and I came back to me. Bhai, you got a strong grip. You hurt my hand. Please don't shake my hand again.
Maybe he's got arthritis, boss. Why are you
I have
hurting
no
the guy?
idea. I look at him like, what's wrong with you?
But sometimes when you shake someone's hand, it's like sometimes it feels like you don't want to shake your hand. Because when you grip it, it's like, hey, you know what? There's feeling there. You know, I'm alive. Confidence. You know?
Yeah.
All right, fine. Back to the question. Salt. The benefits of salt. I mean, I've been training for years, and you always talk about salt, teaspoon of salt or half a teaspoon of salt before training or after training. And I actually saw the benefits of it when I did the 10K marathon, as in my recovery time was amazing in comparison to the previous 2 years. So please elaborate on salt.
Okay. Salt was always taboo, as in increases blood pressure. That's what Big Pharma told us.
Yeah.
We didn't actually research it. We got told that. Doctor said, hey, salt is bad for you. Salt is bad for you. Yes, just like you get a certain part of the population that's gluten intolerant and lactose, you get certain part that's salt intolerant. However, on a broader scale, salt is king. Okay. When we train, we suck ourselves. What do we taste? We taste salt.
You suck yourself?
A lot of truths are coming out now, bro.
And if you look at the basic electrolytes, sodium, potassium, magnesium, that we sweat out. So so why it was taboo was because it was in the bigger scheme of things. It was to make money. Big Pharma said at that time, eggs is bad for you, high cholesterol. Red meat is bad for you, high cholesterol. Salt is bad for you, which was all in today's time. In the last maybe 5 years, it's been proven it was utter rubbish. So getting back to salt before training. Firstly, salt carries water to the muscle. Whether you're doing strength training, endurance, any sport, when you're sweating, you're burning out sodium, you're burning out salt, you're burning out your salt. And then those who do not take any salt throughout the day will end up taking a slow mag, take some extra magnesium. Now, all that can be eliminated just by, I always suggest, it depends on the person, on their training. I'm not going to tell the average individual who's just starting training, take quarter teaspoon of salt. For someone who's training high intensity, and especially for like yourself that sweat a lot, even look at the weather in Durban when it's humid, you're generally sweating, so you are excessive salt. And then people say, you know what, I'm feeling flat in my training, I got no recovery, endurance, but I'm eating properly, I'm sleeping properly. That alone could just be a lack of salt. So in simple terms, salt carries water to the muscle. If I don't take my salt, my workout is bad. Excuse me. And for those who are into like serious weight training and bodybuilding and stuff, you'll feel a pump, which is blood getting pumped into your body, which the salt is carrying the water.
And you're having the salt, like you just said, neat. Just
Yeah, so myself, I take a quarter teaspoon, I just throw it in the mouth and I wash it down. A lot of people that I know of will actually throw up. So another client of mine, he put it in some capsules. So he bought these empty capsules and then he just filled it up with a quarter teaspoon of salt. Then again, I just reiterate that it depends on a person's training.
But it's faster if you just take it neat.
Yeah, it's quick.
Yeah.
Quick, and it's in your bloodstream. I do it about maybe 20 minutes before gym. That my coffee and that's my pre-workout.
Yeah.
And then post-workout. So you got the water, the salt can the water's the muscle, giving you effective, but then you're also sweating, you can push better, you can perform better. Then also you're burning off that out, and then you need to recover with some salt. Right. So for someone who's getting into training, that's what I would say less than a quarter teaspoon, 30 minutes before and immediately after. And for someone who's into training for like many years, for maybe a good 45 minutes to an hour, quarter teaspoon. Like yesterday I took a full half a teaspoon. And just to see, I mean, I'm not going to die because I'm training.
Yeah.
So only can sweats it out.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm sitting at home and stuff, then maybe not. But I had a very effective workout, and I didn't have a good night's sleep. I had quite a few hours only. I'm at home and stuff for that. And I had effective workout, and then I went to Kauai, and I asked him for some salt, and I'm sitting there grinding this thing on a serviette, passing around, looking at me like, what's going on? No,
It's psycho
for my training. But if I don't have it, my body is so used to it that I feel a huge difference.
Right.
And my current clients and people that I know are training, and they're like, first skeptical, no, salt. Yeah. I mean, there was this person that he asked me, he does MMA training. And he asked me about, I said, okay, try the salt. And his wife was a doctor. And she's like, no, salt. I'm like, oh, you know what? Doctors, it's another topic. Okay. Because
We definitely have in part 2, 3, 4.
and I was quickly I'll say, go to a doctor that trains.
Yeah.
Go to a doctor that trains.
Yeah.
Especially when you get
Please.
injured.
Especially when you get injured.
There's a guy who hasn't will tell you, sit at home.
There's a lot of
recover,
doctors.
Don't
Yeah,
do
rest.
nothing.
There's a lot of
big
doctors
leg up.
out there who don't know anything about training.
Yeah.
100%.
Anything about nutrition.
Sure.
They get told what the medical board says. They get told statins is for cholesterol.
Yeah.
Right. So they got to push it. Tim Noakes has proven and with studies that statin works for 1 out of 12 people. 1 out of 12 or 1 out of 7 people. That's bad. But it's pushed. Why? It's big pharma. So you got to people are stepping out with all these independent studies. There's PubMed, that's independent studies that everything is on there. It's open to the public. There's no bullshit. And a lot of the guys out there who are knowledgeable will always refer to these studies, and you get these double blindsided studies and this and that. But salt is good for you. I will salt my meals regularly.
And it's any type of salt? Or is it Himalayan or black salt or Celtic?
No, not really, not necessarily Himalaya. Iodized salt. Most salt is iodized. You get them from any of the stores. And iodine actually stimulates your thyroid. It's good for your thyroid. Iodine is good for your thyroid. 100% cranberry juice, which is not often sold here. It's more mixed. Very good for your thyroid as well.
Okay.
And if you look at just a quick thing on why the world is now changing to full fat dairy and stuff.
Going back to the original.
Yes, exactly. I suggest that you watch a documentary called Sugar. It was out about 5 years ago, Australian, based on a guy who was on a Mediterranean diet, which is basically full fat, full cream, and he went on a low fat.
Yeah.
And after 2 or 3 weeks, he did a blood test on testing everything, whole blood test, and then after 3 weeks, he had a fatty liver. Just after 3 weeks from going on a low fat diet. Sure. So anything that's low fat is laced with sugar. You need to preserve it. You'll never get anything that's sugar free and fat free. It'll either be one. But full fat is, besides good for your body, is good for your brain, especially in kids, infants. Full fat. Never ever give a child low fat. Always full fat. And why it changed to low fat from previous time was, in this document, it explains to you in the 1950s, the American president had a heart attack, and it was between a scientist and a doctor from the UK. One was from the UK, one was from America, and it was a court case. Yeah. And the guy, either one of them won, where they said, no, it was from fat. So America went low fat, and then the whole world followed suit.
Sure.
And that's how it started. People realizing it's actually bad for you.
So much of us is based on bad science.
Look
Sorry,
like eggs. It was before now. Our great-grandparents had fresh farm eggs, and they didn't count how many eggs they had. And then it changed to... okay. See, that's what's confirmed to say, like, it's good for you. And then as time went, the American Heart Foundation came out, I think it was about 5 years ago, and said, no, there's no cholesterol. It got good cholesterol,
Yeah,
which
good-
brings
good
down the bad cholesterol. I know guys personally that eat 18 to 20 eggs a day with the yolk. Arteries are clean. Then again, it goes back to big pharma.
18 eggs.
18 eggs a day. Like a guy was a
Never.
bodybuilder and stuff like that. Yeah.
How many can you?
I could eat like a day, maybe 3.
I should-
and then
What?
that's in the morning. After that, I'm out.
I had 5 this morning.
What?
I sent a tweet to Tim Noakes asking him, what is the most yoked can a athlete have a day? And his reply was, as many as you can tolerate, as it is one of the most nutritious food on the planet.
Wow.
That's amazing.
You know, and then people are against him because he's standing up for what's right. And those who are against him are those who are making money.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Eggs, meat, salt,
So
basis of a diet.
So in all my years in training and going to the gym, I think I was like this at one point where in my younger days, when you started going to the gym, the first thing we wanted was creatine, protein shakes, protein powder, glutamine. We were just taking everything. Don't know what to take. Just take it because everyone else was doing it. What's your advice to those, especially under 25, that's just starting training or even younger? Should they be taking this? And then my follow-up question to that would be, the trend right now in most gyms with most guys that are training is steroid use, the abuse of steroids. What's your advice on that there? And then going on that, we actually have a friend that actually went to a lifestyle clinic for TRT replacement therapy. What's your view on that?
Okay, so let's start off with someone under 25 getting to gym. Okay, so again, it's all individualized. So you got a person who's never trained before, start training, no supplements. For me, no supplements. Start eating correctly because generally the young
That's
guy-
male and female, yeah?
Yeah.
Right.
So generally, the guys who have this conception of what I mean, obviously, if you go to all these big pharmacies and stuff, you're going to see all this protein and this and all these pictures and all this before and after pictures.
Yeah.
It's a lot of it is obviously all marketing strategies and stuff like that. So for someone who's coming in, basic eating in food quality protein, there's nothing better than food protein. However, there is a place for supplements, but for this individual specifically, no, there's no need for supplements. So if this person is coming for weight loss, eating a balanced diet, losing the weight, that's fine. So this person goes on, they come back after maybe 6 months and say, okay, cool, I want to sharpen up, I want to pick up some muscle mass. Okay, let's increase the protein in your food because now we're going more specifically muscle gain, say 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Okay, now do that for a couple of weeks and then say, listen, if I can't get in this afternoon meal, I'm working and stuff, and you know what, I can't eat too much food, then I'll say, okay, there's a place for some whey protein. Okay, it's to supplement your diet.
Right.
It's not there to remove all the food. Okay, so that'll be a one shake. Okay, so I personally, I train in the morning and I got a client early and I can't have my eggs and stuff. I'll throw in my scoops of protein with my oats and I'm gone. Okay.
So this is not necessarily with someone that's younger. This is more towards someone who's training for the first time.
Yes. So as I say, so we go through the process where he's training for the first time. He needs to eat. So say he doesn't need to lose weight. Let's just change the scenario. Right? He wants to come pick up some muscle mass. So we work out his body weight times 2.2 or 2 grams of protein. If he hasn't been eating any protein before, even 1.5 grams is good for enough. And then we monitor. And maybe with his body type, he may pick up enough muscle where he wouldn't need to increase his protein. So we start off with the bare minimum. And then if he's losing some weight, and then we do the body fat measurements, and then from then you can judge, okay, you're losing muscle mass, you need to increase your protein.
Right.
And he says, listen, yeah, I can't eat too much food, I don't have an appetite, then I'll say, right, now's the time to get in the whey protein. Because you need to get in. It comes down to the science of your calories and your protein and your carbs. You know, people think I just eat healthy and I'm fine.
Fine, yeah.
No such thing. For the average individual, don't just stay healthy and not focus on anything aesthetic. Yes, you can eat healthy and a little bit of protein and carb and stuff like that. So then again, when it comes to creatine, from red meat, you can your body does produce creatine. However, creatine is very good, but then again, depends who the person is. Been training for about a year, he's finding recovery and this and that. I'll say firstly go for the salt. Start off with the salt. If you're fine, then there's no need. if you get into a point where it's sticky and you're smashing in a heavy leg session with heavy squats and reps and stuff, and when the salt is going to help you to a point, I'll say, right, take the creatine. But I'll never say this is your go-to beginner's pack of protein, creatine, etc.
Sorry, just on creatine, would you give the same advice to females?
Yes.
Is
Yes.
that good?
Creatine also works cognitively.
Yeah.
So your brain relies on it. And creatine is like, they call it poor man roids.
Yeah.
You see results.
Yeah, you
And
actually get
that-
stronger.
that's
You'll see like a 3%.
that's the reality.
Wow.
A 3% increase in 3 to 5% increase in strength, some size. If you
I've
take
seen
a
I've seen
protein.
some guys and who've been taking creatine and excellent gains. And then I've recently had a father that was concerned, like, his son wants to take creatine and stuff. There's no need for in the past there was a loading phase where you take 1 teaspoon 4 times a day. So there's no need for that. So now it's just, and creatine needs to be taken after your workout, not before. It's a post workout supplement, and it helps you recover for the next day. And it's normally 5 grams.
And creatine is the only supplement in the world that has the most studies on it.
Look at that.
The only supplement that has the most, thousands. I mean, you can go and Google it. There's thousands
And
and
all
thousands.
saying similar things.
Yeah, it's the best thing ever.
And it's one of the cheapest things. Yes, and then now talking about going into, like, okay, in today's time, there's a lot of people that's on anabolics. Okay, I personally think it's abused. You know, we look at these international competitors coming up on stage with these massive gains, and people don't realize those are like the most gifted genetic people in the world that's coming up on the international stage.
So not just their effort, but genetics.
Genetics plays a huge role.
Besides the effort, genetics. I mean, Kaya Green, there was a guy who spoke about him when he competed for the first time. The guys were like shocked that this man is competing on the national stage, but he's natural.
Yeah.
But he's competing with other bodybuilders and stuff that were taking gear. And then when he started taking a small amount, and people don't realize that those big guys take minimal gear. Our local guys take more amount of gear than these guys. They don't realize genetics, nutrition. People think sleep. That alone, you know. So when it comes to, like, say testosterone, you know, if you look at just away from the gymming guys, we guys, I'm over 40, you over 30.
35. Over
35. You're over 40. So if you look at guys our age, there's already a decline in our national testosterone. And it's not just, it's a huge thing. It's like,
So it is naturally declining, or is it because of environmental factors?
So, okay. So before, like, if you're over 40, say 50, they started declining. So if you look at the previous generation, still got more Vuma, right? Our generation,
Sat.
pap,
Yeah.
And the generation after us, let's not even talk about
gone.
it.
They don't even talk about it.
Yeah.
That's
There's a video.
that's just a load of estrogen coming into the market.
There's a video that's going on TikTok that I watched where it shows you guys born in the 80s and they were walking and they bang their foot and he like kicks it, like, what the hell, man? Then they showed you someone born in the 90s and he kicks it, but he does something. And then they showed you fast forward to the guy who was born in the
This
last
century.
20
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
He starts crying. When he bangs his leg, he starts crying.
So if you look at exactly what you said now, our generation, so say the 80s, the decline is around 35. I mean, it's all online. I mean, there's nothing hidden. The decline of testosterone. So as I said before, like, we all have testosterone and estrogen, but it's declining earlier now.
So what are some of the signs that people would feel this drop after about 35, as you're saying, scientifically? It's
No zest in life. No oomph in your step. Tired, lethargic, picking up body fat rapidly.
demotivated, depressed.
Breast tissue, and just
Mentally as well. You're not
you,
firing.
you feel aged.
Yeah.
That's it. You feel aged.
You didn't mention the biggest thing.
Lack of libido in
Libido.
Libido.
Lack of libido, biggest thing, biggest problem. This is one of the pandemics, and the way society or the bigger players out there is want to strip man, remove the alpha man, the alpha male. So yes, there's something called TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, which there is a place for it. There's medical centers around the country that offer this, where you go in and get a blood test, and they check your testosterone out, and they tell you, okay, cool, this is the problem. Your estrogen is high, testosterone is low. Just like in a nutshell, just briefly, what I'm saying now, and it's okay, cool. You need to take 1 ml of testosterone a week. May consist of 100 milligram or 200 milligram. It's only done over 1 ml for 10 days. And then for some people, it may be 1 ml per week. And then they do another blood test after a month, and they say, okay, cool, your level's up. But in that time, you'd actually feel a switch in your head. You're like, wow, okay, I don't need to go to bed that early. If I sleep less, it's actually more quality. I get a fresher, I got more zest for life, I got more energy to train, I feel a bit stronger. It honestly knocks off about 10 years of your life.
Yeah.
It is huge. You got these natural supplements, these Tongat Ali, or the Western name is called Langophoria. Langophoria, that's actually pretty good. But it's very hard to get the original stuff, which is up in the mountains. And these natural stuff do assist to a point.
Okay.
But honestly, the test from the doctor is king.
Yeah.
Is king. And it is what it is.
So you
today,
advise
you know?
people from about 35 years to go and
If
get
you have
tested.
the symptoms and say lethargicness, picking up weight, no zest for life, feeling old, no libido in the room, you got a problem.
At 35 is
And
young, man.
there's
Sure.
a lot
No, but
of
think about it.
people
I mean,
out there.
if you look at the divorce rates, right, and if you look at most problems in marriage, it starts from the bedroom.
Yeah.
It starts from the bedroom. And the problem, especially with Muslims.
And the personality of the man.
Yeah, and the problem, especially with Muslims, in my opinion, is that my ego is too big to talk about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to go tell my friends or my wife, hey, listen, I can't screw you, I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm struggling. So he'll keep it to himself. And then she doesn't know what's going on, and she speaks to someone else. And she's speaking to an alpha male. Then you got a problem.
Yeah. You gotta annotate on the side.
And then you got problems.
Then you got big
Yeah,
problems.
it's something that's a huge taboo in especially in the Muslim sector.
Yeah.
And you know, if that is low, I mean, someone breaks to your door, you're gonna be like, hey, leave my wife, take whatever you want and go. Yeah. When your testosterone's up, you're gonna say, fucking come here, I'm gonna smash your fucking face. You know,
Protect your property.
that's
your
the
family.
difference.
Yeah.
And society don't want it anymore. They don't want that man. They want the guys dress up, looking like females,
100%. And according
and
to
the females look like males.
Yeah.
And women
It's-
out
it's-
there,
yeah.
if you could social media, women speak about it. It's like, where's that man today? And the first thing is testosterone is low. I mean,
But when they do feel that, man, then they fear the man, like, oh no, this is not what I actually wanted.
yeah,
yeah, but that's not everyone. But going back to what you said, lack of knowledge within our communities.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't realize that everything, all the symptoms, is actually coming from lack of testosterone.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't realize it there because again, we don't talk about it. Our imams don't talk about it. No one talks about it, and it's causing a major shift and a major problem within our communities.
and look at the divorce rate in today's time, based around the bedroom. I mean, I know of people who do marriage counseling and stuff, and it's bedroom.
That's the main focus. That's the main issue.
Not the main issue, but a big portion of it. It's like,
okay.
hey,
It leads to the rest of it.
yeah, we're working hard, we're stressed out, we're tired. There's no vuma because it's a lack of testosterone. If you just research the benefits of testosterone, and also the flip side is you abuse it, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah.
In anything you abuse is bad.
Sure.
From food,
Including
vitamins, water.
Too much of water is bad for you.
Anything you abuse is bad. Let me just get that clear out. Anything you abuse is bad. However, there is a place for it. And in today's time, especially it's amongst the men, amongst the males out there, people are suffering. People are suffering. I mean, I have guys regularly. I mean, a guy contacted me like a couple of days ago. Listen here, I'm struggling here. What I can? I said, well, you know what? You need to get some testosterone. Try and see a doctor. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, we know of someone.
A learned guy.
Someone from Cape Town who went and got a blood test, blah, 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 his testosterone is low.
Yeah.
Married for, 18 years? No, actually, I think over 20 years. Got 4 or 5 kids. Doctor gave it to him, didn't tell his family. We knew about it. And all of a sudden, in a matter of weeks, he came out of his shell where he started talking too much.
It doesn't matter. So it also increase. So when your testosterone is up, it increases your confidence level.
Yeah, right? But what it did was it took him back to his natural form, right? His family, because his family hasn't seen him talking this much or being this outspoken,
Yeah.
thought there was something wrong with him.
And this, like, how long was that change happen?
But in a matter of what, a week?
Sure.
But here's the sad, crazy part. His wife and his family thought there was something wrong with him, wherein he forced himself to come off it and go back into that depression mode.
Okay. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go back into that depression mode and not accept that I got a problem.
This is who I actually am. And
And I got a problem.
Yeah.
So
The comfort, the safety, go back to that.
That being him being in that state of low testosterone and keeping quiet and not talking much, he made that his norm.
Right.
Because for him, and sorry, we'll end off on this. For him, it was, my wife thinks I'm going mad. She's asking me what I'm on. Because in the last 10 to 15 years, I've never done this. Yet it's taking him back to who he's supposed to be.
Sure.
And he couldn't handle it.
That's incredible. Look, I mean, we already gone like over an hour and a half for this, and there's
need
so
months.
much more. There's so much more to talk about. I really am so blessed to be in your presence and to learn from you and your guidance, and a truly inspiring story. Someone also who, like me, suffered with overweight, and then seeing you come out to who you are, and really the mindset from a young age that you spoke about, that you continued struggling and forcing yourself. I mean, eating those tuna cans, I'm sure. Do you still eat tuna, though?
No.
I thought so. So, I mean, all of those struggles that you've gone through, I mean, really, if I was wearing a hat, I'd say hats off to you.
Thanks.
But, and truly inspiring. So I'd love to have you back on. And I'm sure what we ask is for people to ask their questions so that for the next time, we're ready to give you some more of the controversial ones. Shane?
Can't wait.
Yeah, so you're definitely coming back. Awesome. And the one topic we are going to talk about is overweight religious scholars. That is a must.
That's definitely
it has
a
to
big
start
thing.
from somewhere.
And, I can't wait.
Yeah, so it was an honor having you on. And,
Honor to be here
Yep.
with you guys and right.
Well, Mindscape, but yeah.
Mindscape.
No, it's good.
Yeah, so until next time, that's it.
Yep, shukran.